on the front page of the Chronicle, we have bailout is a sham, says Kufuor. We're talking about the IMF bailout, and they have added another story, though. But Mahama says it will cushion the poor. We're saying this because a new report by the International Monetary Fund, that's the IMF on Ghana, is predicting some exciting times ahead for the economy. And according to figures being released by the fund, economic growth will pick up next year, while inflation is also expected to reduce, and they're pegging economic growth to be around 6.4% in 2016 from the current projected 3.5% by the year ending, and while inflation is also likely to end at 12% and decline further to 10.2% by the next year. And significantly, the next year is an election year, so at least the politicians should be happy about the current status quo, so to speak, because we've gone to the IMF, and these efforts are all expected to help improve and stabilize the economy.
In 2012, we were told that the economy was going to pick up in 2013. In 2013, we were told that 2014. In 2014, again, we were told that 2015 things will get better. Now, IMF is projecting that the economy will grow by a certain percentage point, inflation will drop by a certain percentage point and all. What does this mean to the ordinary Ghanaian?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, it means nothing to the ordinary Ghanaian who wants a change in government. It doesn't mean anything to the average Ghanaian who wants a change because he sees that leadership has failed. Why? They've been talking about single spine. You pay somebody, okay, you say you've increased the person's salary. 2012, that's when this happened, and they almost rationalized all in 2013. But you and I know that from that period to date, fuel prices have skyrocketed by over 50%. Is that not the case? ECG has increased tariffs by over 50%. Ghana Water has increased tariffs by over 20%. Prices of commodities have gone up significantly. And if you look at the inflation rate, which is now at 18%, it means that, I mean, averagely, prices of foodstuffs and whatnot have gone up by 18%, which is not the reality though. Okay? So the average Ghanaian is suffering. The average Ghanaian does not seem to see an end to his pain or her pain. Doom so. Yesterday I had the occasion of, granting interview to one of your, sister stations on when this doom so will end. The power minister told us that, in December, that the power badges were going to come in April, beginning of April. As we speak, those badges are on lease in Lebanon. That Turkish company, those badges that they were relying on, the car power. The car power. Yes, badges. Those badges are on lease in Lebanon. They have not they've not finished that contract over there.
They've not decoupled them.
No. Even we've not put the structures here at the Intema to receive the badges. So what are we talking about? Deceiving the people, creating a mirage situation, letting people hope on hope to no end. And I can assure you that the earliest we can have these badges will be next year. The earliest will be next year. So why deceive the people? Between 2009 to date, this country has had so much resources. No government ever had access to oil revenue. They have had. These resources have been abused. You go to IMF as if they are granting you the reliefs pro tanto. It is not. It is coming with hard conditionalities, which include you having to retrench public sector workers. So you are going to send people home. And you talk about compensation. What compensation? Somebody is working regularly. At least he is being paid. Then IMF is telling you that, streamline, trim it, reduce the workforce. It is there. They know. Now IMF is telling you how to spend and when to spend and where to spend. ECG is supposed to go through privatization. It is part of the plan. And this one, they hit it at the Millennium Challenge Account Compact 2. Okay? Whereupon the American government is saying that before you assess this 500 million plus. Give us a plan how you are going to repay your debt you owe ECG. So you ask yourself, what has government done with all the loans that it has procured? Almighty Sada, today, we don't even know where the tractors are. We don't know which company received the money from government. Yet, come November, government is to cover 299 million. All the other payments that were made to certain institutions that we don't know what they use those monies for. This year, government is to spend 9 billion interest payment alone. Can the 9 billion do some projects that government can, pride itself of? Then today, the other defense is that, we are doing so many projects. So many projects at what cost? Have you been to Kumasi recently? If you've not, I have. And I can tell you that with all sincerity, that the government is not being truthful to Ghanaians. If you go, you've done a runway, this aeronautical lights, and then you've not put up any new structure. Kumasi has no new structure. Then you say you spend $29 million. Today, that company that did the project has filed for bankruptcy. Is under investigation in Brazil for corruption, for hiking prices or inflating prices for tender documents and projects. $29 million. This government says that is spent on the Kumasi airport. And if you calculate the runway, in total, I went there 4 weeks ago. If you calculate, it's not even up to 10 kilometers. It's so sad. Kaswa interchange. They still don't know how much the project will cost. You bring a facility, 172 million, all by this Brazilian company, Government is supposed to pay 10% to cover insurance. Government is supposed to put another 20% into a collection account in New York. At the transport committee, government says the project will cost 132 million. It comes to finance committee, 160 million. Meanwhile, the net amount you get after the loan will be less than 140 million. So how are you going to fund the project? You see, I get sad as a Ghanaian today that our government, the people's representatives who have executive power, are not being sincere. You go on the streets of Accra, people are losing jobs because of this Dumso, and they take it so lightly. They think they can always play to the populist gallery. No, a lot of Ghanaians are now looking for an alternative. Somebody, and they know, somebody who can actually say, hold on a moment, I can do it and do it better. And I believe that the time has come for that needed change to be effected through the ballot.
The gentleman has made a very elongated speech. And all this is premised on the fact that from 2012 or even from 2013, if you look at the budget overruns and the way the economy has performed, it's not giving you a lot more credit. And as a result of that, even a decision taken to go to the IMF has also added a lot more woes to your critics, who would say, well, because you didn't have the solutions, that's why, well, you went to the IMF. And now the country is also reeling under all these pressures. The IMF is saying, well, there's light at the end of the tunnel. But based on what your own track record has been, it seems to be very much unbelievable.
Well, which track record that is making you not to believe?
Not me, I'm asking you a question.
So that question, I think you have to reframe the question.
Okay.
But
you don't like my question?
I don't like the way you frame the question.
So how do you want to
frame? Is it based on our track record?
Yes.
Our track record, rather, you have to believe us. But first, the headline says, bailout is a sham.
Sure. That's what the Chronicle said.
By President Kufuor.
Sure.
You see, I will urge the press to take President Kufuor out of politics. The man is a statesman, and he doesn't make political comments. I respect him for that.
He's been a former president before.
Yes.
Well, your critics will say when he says something, people should rather believe it because he's been a president.
Yeah, he's been a president, but I don't believe President Kufuor has said that. That's why I said the press should not bring President Kufuor into politics. The man is a statesman. You see, my brother has spoken a lot, but you know what? All the ingredients of his speech, which I'm going to rebut, I can't rebut all because I didn't write them down, but those that I remember I'll rebut. You see, it's a CD, an imaginary CD that they have created in the MPP headquarters.
Meaning what?
They have learned how to sing that song.
That the argument is
the same.
posited in a certain line.
All of them are singing from a CD, a common CD.
Is that good enough?
Oh,
for you to respond that way?
It's populist. You know, he is a member of parliament, and if he tells us Ghanaians and the whole world that they don't even know where monies that have been taken has gone to, they don't know how the money has been used. He is a member of parliament. He knows how to get answers to those questions in parliament. So it's a strategy, it's a campaign strategy that they are all singing to make sure that they will be able to get through to Ghanaians. But I'm telling you that we are doing a very good job. President Mama is doing a very good job. We had a problem for balance of payment deficit in the sense that the cocoa price and the gold price dropped drastically, and it affected us. Hence, we went to IMF to be able to settle the deficit, to show up the deficit. So this is the reason why we went to IMF. It's not a matter of we not managing the economy well. When it comes to ECG and all those, my friend, let us be realistic. I keep saying that I'm a capitalist with a very friendly socialist front heart. You go take an assumption. I'm assuming that you take $50 to produce 1 kilowatt of electricity, and then you sell it at $20. Definitely, that electricity company is going to crash. The same way, if you have to take money to produce water and you are selling below the cost price, it's going to crash. So you have to charge realistic prices. And mostly, if government is controlling such facilities, you see government always saying that, oh, people are poor, people are poor. But if you give it to a private person who will manage it well commercially and make sure that he gets a lot of profit and pay to government kitty, so a government will get some of the money to subsidize agriculture, subsidize health, and subsidize education, so that our people will get a chance to have access to all these things. It's going to do well for us. He's talking about inflation of projects here and there. Why is he not reported to the police? It's a crime. He's a lawyer. MPP, there are a lot of lawyers in the MPP. The way the electoral commission was doing something bad, and a certain lawyer and a fisherman went to a lawyer and an MPP lawyer, and they went to court and they won. The same way, if you are so patriotic and you know that contracts have been inflated, why are you sitting down? You are Ghanaian. I will support you. In fact, I have a police station in Dadekotopon. I can go to see the commander. We will lodge a complaint. So I will bring them on board. That you are cheating Ghanaians. You see, things go through procurement. We have laws in this country. Things go through procurement.
And your argument is that those agreements have gone through the procurement process.
I said things go through procurement.
And as a result of as a result of that, any counter argument about
what I mean is that
inflated prices or quotations are flawed.
If it has not gone through procurement, they should come on board so that we hold their neck that you haven't gone through procurement. If it has not gone through parliament, we come on board and hold their neck. You haven't gone through parliament. You can go to court. You can go to the police station. But you see, the MPP is singing this song because they know that most Ghanaians will not go and check. But some of us who have checked know that all the songs they are singing is not the truth. They are being populist. They just want to come and sit on the seat. You know, it said we are selling. Accra International Conference Center. Do you know the MPP sold it? They sold it. They say, oh, we are giving management to the hotel that is coming to you. But it's such. And I'm not against it because I told them I'm a capitalist. I'm not a property owning capitalist, but I'm a social, face-loving capitalist to make sure that we put profit, not profit maximization, but put a level of profits on whatever enterprise that we are going through. So all what I'm saying is that road construction, water production, electricity generation, and all those things, we are doing it for the average Ghanaian. So I will put everything in place to make sure that Ghanaians become happy. They are telling that inflation will be coming down. This is a prediction. But it depends on us working hard. All those that have been put in place to work hard must work hard to make sure that we are on track. And there's no, you see, if the IMF some time ago came and there was retrenchment. It doesn't mean this time there's going to be retrenchment because the institutions are already understaffed.
Your point has been, but Alex, logically, you want to cut down on cost. You have to make sure that, well, for many finance managers, they will advise you. You always have to make sure overhead costs are reduced by either cutting down on the number of people who are on your payroll, or your production cost is reduced significantly. And as a result of that, those are methods that cut across whatever corporate entities we have around the world. And so Ghana is not going to be different. And based on that very advice and the guidance of the IMF, they have projected, if Ghana is able to implement these are projections for the next fiscal year. You think that's wrong? That doesn't give a positive outlook?
Well, I will start it from where he says that the ministries are understaffed. That is not correct. The finance minister and I had a debate on this issue some 3 days ago, and he did concede that indeed there was going to be some retrenchment. But I disagree with the fact that, if you want to cut down costs, you have to, streamline and trim your workforce. In any event, you knew you needed them. That is why you engaged them. It is a condition by somebody whom you are seeking assistance from.
And you are saying that based on that, that's why...
Well, but why would you...
That's why the principle doesn't work to you.
Why is it that Ghanaians who are already suffering would have to be retrenched to come and sit at home? I am saying
if a firm is not profitable...
what is not profitable? Please, you've had so much resources that you have mismanaged. The issue, let's center the whole discussion on the abuse, the wanton abuse of state resources by this government. Simplicity. You have had so much opportunity, so many opportunities. Oil revenue, what has happened to the oil revenue? The last time I raised this issue, that we've had a state institution claiming to have spent over $300 million, Jesus Christ, on capacity building alone. Give us the details of capacity building, the details of same.
That's two budget years ago.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Mr. Namole, Amasa Namole, my own MP from Dadikotopo, my big brother, knows that this majoritarian system in parliament is affecting parliament, it's making it difficult for parliament to assert itself, to be able
to play the watchdog role.
Play the watchdog role. Right. He asked, he said that, why don't I report to police? Good question. Good question. Look, this $29 million, Napo asked the question. When the Minister of Transport came to the house, it was a big shame.
You mean the money spent on...
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yes. Madam Jifa Ativo, I want to take it that he pretended he didn't understand the questions. Napo asked that the government says it spent $29 million. Give us the breakdown of the runway. How much did it cost? The aeronautical light. How much did it cost? The whatever. This was an urgent question. The minister prepared. When she came, it took the majority leader to be, we could call it in parliament, coaching. Eventually, she had to take the leave of the house to come back later. Meanwhile, the government has put out these figures. All right? Why is it that you are unable to give us the figures? Now, I've mentioned the Kaswa. To date, government is unable to explain to us the exact figures. Go to the rich hospital thing. I mean, these are things that you cannot say that if I'm alleging, I should go to the police. We have international standards, okay? You cannot tell me that you are driving a Kia, okay? Give me one of the brands. One of the Kia.
Toyota. Kia.
Let's say Hyundai, they say Sorento, right?
Yeah.
Sorento is a Hyundai, right?
Sure.
Good.
We have accents.
Okay, so let's say Hyundai Accent. You say that you bought it at $100,000. Obviously, Roland, you challenge. If I say I bought mine at $100,000, you say no.
Or a Mercedes, a red Mercedes.
If you talk about a Mac, then you say $100,000. Somebody will say yes and all that. If you say you bought a Maybach for $300,000. Yes. But you cannot tell me that you bought a mech for $300,000. Somebody say you've been cheated or you are lying. This is the very situation you find yourselves. We've talked about SADA, and I've said it time and over, where they did not even come to Parliament, where we raised specific
Alex,
issues.
now conclude on the subject.
I'm going
you
to
seem
conclude.
to be taking all my time.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry, sir. But sometimes when you're dealing with issues with passion, that a government that claims to be caring for the people does not seem to be caring for the people and is engaged in wanton abuse, and now you who claim that you have a competent team, you are going to the IMF to dictate to you that this is the way you should run your economy? Can you tell?
But do you agree going to the IMF is not a bad thing at all?
In principle,
it's not bad.
You are a member. You can.
So in principle, it's not bad.
In principle, but in different conditions, they have gone to IMF because of the mismanagement of our resources.
You see, a line.
I give you 2 minutes. Unfortunately, I can't give you 5 minutes.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay.
A line in their CD is wanton abuse of state resources. You check it. Everywhere is what.
All the communicators.
All of them from their least communicator to the highest communicator. Okay. Nanadu themselves, wanton abuse of state resources is always there.
So for you, it's much ado about nothing. Oh, you don't care.
You see, he said majoritarian system in the parliament is making it difficult. Yet at the same time, Napo was able to ask a question, the minister couldn't answer, and the minister said he will come back. She will come back. And definitely she will come back. And the truth will be known. So these are some of the things that they always try to hide under. I can sit here and say that Nanado, when he was in office, used 29 passports got lost in his office and blah, 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 which may not be the truth. So all what I'm saying, the MPP should give us facts and figures that can be supported.
And you're saying all these are not factual? For example,
they are not factual. No. You see, it's something that they have caught themselves, and they are singing it, and they will continue to sing it.
So for you, it's all politics.
It's all politics.
All right.
But the truth is that.
But talking about politics, we've had a member of parliament for Nantong accusing
but do we have the tractors for SADA?
Unnamed NDC members of parliament.
So have you asked the question?
Of greasing the palms of chiefs and opinion leaders in the northern region. Gentlemen, can I have your attention?
The police station, somebody has stolen.
Gentlemen, can I have your attention?
Went to a place. Sorry.
The tractor hasn't come at all.
No,
Alex. It's all right. Let's proceed. We are two friends.
Member of Parliament for Nanton is accusing unnamed members of the NDC and a member of Parliament of greasing the palms of chiefs and opinion leaders, etc. And we know that beyond that, he's also said a number of things, that a number of allegations had been made against him, and comments that, tend to posit the whole argument to the fact that it's likely somebody is instigating for him to be unseated from his current position as Member of Parliament for Nanton. He's not too happy about that. He spoke to a radio station in his constituency, and following that, it's also being played back not only in the media but also on Joy FM and Joy News as well. Subsequently, your own view about the comments by the Member of Parliament and how this should be handled in itself.
Roland, you know, Mutala is my very, very good friend.
Really? Then you're going to be biased in your argument.
My very, very good friend.
He's your good
friend.
And
what has happened reminds me of what Madam Christine Chacha told me way back in 2001, that the enemy from within is more vicious than without. I would only urge him to take it easy.
Who?
Mutala. I would urge him to take it easy. He should remind himself that he's in government. Whoever he has issues with is also in government, and they have a business to run the nation for the benefit of Ghanaians. They may have some personal issues. I think that it shouldn't take center stage. This issue of some MPs getting people out in other constituencies, I think it's becoming, I mean, widespread. You see, it's becoming widespread. I don't know whether it is driven by ambition or people want to. I have looked at it this way. Mutala and I have had private discussions severally. And there was a time I remember a senior member of our party, we are at the committee, advised him that, Mutala, you know, in this game, you don't put your neck on the line. You can be sacrificed anytime. This was after Mutala had, you know, vociferously raised an issue on the floor of the House. And he told him that, look, if you are not careful, you may think that you are defending your party. You are going to the extreme. But if you get to a point, don't be surprised if your party sacrifices you. He told him this, that he should manage it and make sure that he plays along with the team. Else somebody may think that he's so ambitious, may want to even undo him. In this game that we are in, somebody may be like he's MP for Dade Kotopon. Somebody is an MP for Osu. Somebody is an MP for Seiteshi. People can do their permutation and say, look, Ni Amasa, in the next 8 years, this is how the permutations will be. He's rising. Let's find a way. You know, that kind of thing. It's political. We are in political competition. So it's about managing yourselves. Sometimes people stop at nothing. They want to do everything possible to undo another person. And I think it's that pain that got my brother to blow up. But he should just calm down. I've not had the opportunity of speaking to him. His phone has been off. But I would want to urge him, Mutala, take it easy. Whoever is trying to undermine you, just keep calm. And I believe that their party leadership would also call whoever is doing that.
How should the party handle this? Because I mean, this is not going to be the first time there are feuds between individuals and groups within the party.
As a political party will come and say, I'm going to handle it, but it's individuals in the party that will advise all those that are having the feud. But sometimes, you see, me, I've been MP for 3 times, and somebody who has been MP for the first time is trying to unseat me. He's trying to unseat Doyo Kujo. He's trying to unseat Elabi. I'm MP. But I am not trying to unseat him, and I will not try to unseat him.
You follow him?
You two, you are being unseated.
Oh, yes. An MP is trying to unseat me.
Oh, okay.
And one time...
first time at level 100, he's trying to unseat me. You understand? But in this game, Mutala, it is bound to happen. Me, I take lessons from Mengistu Harimariam, Mobutu Sese Seko, and Gaddafi. Mengistu Harimariam saw that the soldiers were coming. He decided not to fight. He took helicopter and went to Zimbabwe. He's living. He's a farmer. He's still alive. People have forgotten about him. If he had resisted, they would have killed him and he will be no more. So Mutala, please, this game, when you see that the forces that are coming are too strong, just give way. Maybe they will bypass you and go and crash. You see, but if you try to resist them, they will crash you to the wall. So just stay away and let them go and crash to the wall. It's a strategy. So you should exercise restraint and exercise patience.
But it can be painful, senior.
It is painful.
All right. That's
I think you have also experienced it.
Yeah, I've experienced
So my guest this morning, Alex Afenyo-Markin, Member of Parliament for Ifutu. Thanks for joining me.
You have not done 1 hour with us.
And then also Ni Amasana Mwale, Member of Parliament. Okay, Say Namwale is a Member of Parliament for La Dade Kotopon. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll be here wrapping up the show.
But